Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to follow up after today's movement and kind of give an update on where I see GME and kind of the movement going forward. If you like these videos, go ahead and press the like button. And if you want to follow along on GME updates, go ahead and subscribe. And then if you want to participate in some active trades that we take throughout the day, ranging from 5% gain all the way up to 200%, please join the Discord, and then please let me know how you liking the videos. So let's kick this thing off and start with the weekly chart like we have been recently. And what I wanted to do was I really wanted to make sure that everyone saw the RSI the same way I am. Okay, the reason why I highlight this is there is a RSI, and then which is in the purple line here, and then the RSI moving average, which is the yellow. So what I identified on the last video was this. Look at the channel that we've been in for RSI. And a lot of people will be quick to say, okay, well, what does that mean? Why does that matter? How is that even remotely relevant? Well, allow me to tell you, when you have movement in here in a channel like this, and you're seeing that RSI moving average coiling up the way we are, right? We've seen ups, downs, all the above, right? Since we saw this drop here, we have seen where this crossed over and got above, okay? When you're looking at this, it looks eerily familiar to what we've seen before. So we had a cross. We finally got up into this channel where we were bouncing around on the RSI between this 59 and 70 level, 73 level. When you're breaking this down, we never actually saw this break up like we saw previously before the run up. We never saw where this got up to this 97 level. We haven't seen this at all. The highest that we've seen is around 73.61. So why this matters to me is we have a setup that is going on, and from this peak point, so I had highlighted the channel where we broke down, and now what I've been doing is actually using this as the support and resistance for the trades that are being taken. So if I was to range this out and be able to zoom in on this weekly chart, okay, and I wanted to scale this down just so I could see less of the RSI and more of the actual chart. What I want to show is this was almost an exact guarantee of this bounce, right, at this 22.45. We highlighted this, so everyone should have been prepared for any form of trade, any form of entry or exit on this weekly candle, okay? What makes it a lot more clear is the daily, okay? We have been highlighting this section for quite some time now, and I don't want anybody to get impatient or frustrated that we keep going back to this. But I'm going to draw this once again, okay? When I highlight this level from here to here, what I see is the exact same movement that we've been seeing lately. I can drag this however I want, but here's the thing. I really want to focus in on this level like we have been for the last few weeks. 29.27, that's the top part of our box, and then our lower part was the 22.67. Because of you following these trades and following along, right, and watching these videos, the lower portion of the box was 22.84. But what we saw today was breaking down below that, down to about 22.55. If I wanted to put this exactly at the bottom, I mean, you're looking at roughly 22.55. This is not far off the box. This was to be expected, okay? We were going to see a bounce. Now, on some of the trades that we've taken, recently we took a $27 call option that expired for this week. That call option did not set up the way we wanted to, and we've been holding it for about 3 or 4 weeks. So there's been a lot of scalping opportunities, a lot of swinging opportunities. I would say that we are vastly, vastly, vastly ahead overall, but the $27 call that had the expiration for this week just did not pan out the way we expected. We are still in the $50 calls for July 19th. Those July 19th calls recovered almost 50% just based on how GME closed for the day. So, what I'm actually focusing in on at this point is this. I've been really watching where these candles came in. Okay, lower part of the candle, upper part of the candle. Okay, I'm breaking this into another barcoding area, and the reason being is this. If I take this all the way across, you can see where we had push-ups in multiple areas. But what's going on here is we have an accumulation zone here and we have an accumulation zone here. When I drew this upward channel based off of the run that we had, okay, this comes all the way into April 22nd. We all know from there we saw a strong movement up to this $12 range from a $9 range, $10 range. Okay, then we had this slight pullback before we came up to here to about 17. We bought a ton of shares on the level of about $17.76. We're still holding those shares. Okay, so what you have here is an accumulation zone, and then we had a gap up. This gap up, if you guys remember, it started on, this is on a Monday. In pre-market, we were running big time. So what I want to highlight is when we're looking at this channel that is coming up, look at the RSI below. When you really zoom in, you break this down into a daily time frame chart, okay? Look here. Look here. This is Monday, May 13th, okay? We had roughly the same size, okay? So if we dropped this on the RSI, we reached that 93 mark, okay? This is at about the 98 mark. That's the highest we've ever seen. We saw two blips here at about 87. The 87 mark that both of these hit, okay, is much closer to this 93. The reason being is this. If you look at the sustainment, we had a blip and then we had a continuation on the RSI. We did not see any continuation. Now, a lot of people will come in and say, okay, well, there was mass dilution. Maybe that affected this. Well, that is a possibility. There's been a lot of different catalysts that were removed. You know, that one of the original rules is no dates, right? Every time there's a date, it never works out. So here's where I want you guys to become more in tune with what I'm seeing. When you think about the two ramps and then going inside this channel, we've been inside that channel, and then for the last few days we broke outside that channel. This is extremely sideways movement, okay? When I think about this channel that's here, look at what we have. RSI moving average hovering, you know, right around 53, RSI being at about 50. I'm looking for the spike to come in where we have a strong volume day, we have a strong movement, we have strong momentum. This is really the base to what we need to see in order to break back into this channel. I envision there's going to be a retest of that $23 level, you know, this $23, $24 level. I can't explain how critical this is. If we're going to take calls in the future on GME to be set up for another run, a lot of these are going to be taken closer in the money than out of the money. You know, out of the money, you know, if you add in the decay and the volatility that are built in on these, it's a recipe for disaster. So what I want to do is I really want to focus in on getting back inside this channel, using these same pivots that we were seeing before. And what I'd like to see, going into the close for this week is I would love to be able to see us get back inside this channel and maybe do something like this and then be able to retest that upper part of the channel. I don't know if that's going to come this week. I don't know if we're going to see a catalyst. I don't know if we're going to see any kind of update from Ryan Cohen, Keith, any of these people that have been in this trade for a while. But what I want to do is just keep focusing in on the market fundamentals. The fundamentals and the technical analysis around this trade are completely valid and they have not been invalidated. If they become invalidated, you guys will be the first, due to being on this channel, for me to say, okay, this trade has now become invalid. We need to reassess and then look at what we have going into the future. But right now, this trade is as valid as it has ever been. So please continue to follow along and then let me know what you think of the video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to follow along for more updates on GME or any of the other stocks that we trade on a daily basis, subscribe to the channel. And then feel free to join the Discord if you want to be a participant in a lot of the trades that we take. We had a very successful Friday where we went 6 for 6 on trades, and I can highlight those trades in the next video if you guys are interested. But really, we're trying to really take advantage of the volatility at the open of the market and then kind of take advantage of some of the semiconductor and big tech stocks that have been having quite a year so far this year. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.